GW Apparel, a clothing that speaks. Something for the kings, something for the queens. Visit uptsites.com and use promo code SLDG22 and receive 11% off your order. Peace.
It's the Ticket Plug. We've been running an online ticket business for over a decade, and now we've created an easy way for you to do the same thing through our private ticket resale community. Joining our community will give you a way to flip your bread and generate profit income consistently. We provide you with all the tools, training, and resources needed to start your life-changing online ticket business. Zero experience needed. To join our ticket resale community, go to thetickettrap.com. Again, go to thetickettrap.com. That's thetickettrap.com.
The Master's Table by DJ RP Beats and Sincere Love to God, now playing on the internet's #1 destination for true hip-hop. Introducing truthhiphop.com, a meticulously curated platform designed for connoisseurs seeking a superior quality of hip-hop. Immerse yourself in an unparalleled experience of 100% bar-heavy, authentically crafted, real hip-hop. Discover the essence of the genre, reminiscent of its golden era, now playing exclusively at truthhiphop.com.
Yeah, like that. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen.
I'm Allah in the person of Sincere Love to God. That mean your arms too short like tall Anthony Shaw. Peace, family. What's going on? What's going on with y'all? Welcome to another episode of Sincere Love to God cast. I am the God, Sincere Love, and I don't know where my lovely co-host is at the moment, man. Somebody holler at Nicety Girl, tell her she late for work. God damn it. Nicety Girl, where you at? It's kind of my fault. I kind of hit her up last minute. I did hit her up kind of last minute. Let her know about to go live and all of that. She might be tied up right now. Not literally tied up, but she might be, a little preoccupied, a little busy or something. I don't know. But somebody tell Nicety she late for work right now, man. She need to pull up. But what's going on with y'all, man? As we wait for Nicety Girl to get on up in here. I know she'll be here, but she would have let me know. She would have let me know if she had something that was going on. She wasn't going to be coming through. But I'm pretty sure she'll be here. So while we waiting for her to pull up, y'all know what to do. Make sure y'all hit the like button. When you hit the like button, that helps to boost the video into the YouTube algorithm. Also helps to make sure that people who are subscribed to the channel do get the notification bell, do get the notifications when we go live. So hit the like button, share this out on your social media platforms right now. Let everybody know that we are live with another episode of Sincere Love to God cast. Click that button that says share and copy the link. Even if you don't send it to nobody, it has the same effect as if you sent it to 1 million people. Did you know that? Did you know that, family? When you click the copy link button, it does the same thing if you send it to nobody as it would if you send it to a million people. Well, not really, because if you send it to a million people, it's going to be a certain percentage of those million people that will actually click on it and show up to the live. So that part is not going to happen. But I'm talking about as far as the signal that it sends to YouTube, that people are interested in the video, that people are liking and sharing and stuff like that. It does the same thing as far as that. So even if you don't plan on sharing it out, which I hope that you do, just hit share and copy the link. Can you do that for me before we get this thing started? Can you do that for me? Like, share, and if you're not already subscribed to us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to us, Godcast Enterprises on YouTube, as well as Sincere Love to God on YouTube. We are live on both channels right now, as well as on Facebook. Shout out to the Facebook family tuning in as well. Appreciate y'all. Y'all can hit the like button and share on Facebook also. You know what I mean? Put this on your Twitter, on your X timeline. Let everybody know that we live over there. What's going on, Buzzer Cam H1? Shout out to you. Virgo Venom, what's going on? Crew Royalty in the building, B1. B1 to the family. What's going on with y'all? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Has anybody gotten a hold of Nicety Girl? She ain't hit me back. I texted her. I did send her a text. She hasn't hit me back. That's strange. Hope everything is cool with my sister. Hope everything is cool with her. Pretty sure everything is cool. Hold on a second, y'all. Hold on a second. Just want to double check. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, Buzzer Cam. Definitely, definitely. Appreciate everybody liking and sharing and subscribing and all that good stuff. Appreciate everybody doing that for us over here. And so, yeah, I'm still waiting for Nicey to pull up, man. But how y'all feeling? How y'all doing? I'm Gucci, man. Laid back Sunday. You know, we ain't got it in the gym this morning. And other than that, just been kind of chilling around the house. Made some food, made some food for the next couple of days, little meal prep situation. You know what I mean? Trying to get it together, keep it together. But how about y'all? Today we're going to be talking about Biden welcoming Donald Trump back to the White House. For those of y'all that don't know, they had a meeting at the Oval Office the other day. They put out did a little press conference, or whatever, you know, ceremonial thing that they normally do when they changing presidents or whatever. You know, supposed to be a smooth transition. You know what I'm saying? But the optics of this one is a little strange. If y'all remember last time, when Biden won, they didn't have this little Oval Office ceremonial thing. They didn't. Trump, you know, remember Trump was like, nah, y'all cheated. Trump wasn't really trying to hear that shit like that. He was like, nah, I ain't about to sit here and fake the funk with y'all. You know what I mean? Trump was like, nah, I ain't with that. I ain't gonna sit here and fake the funk with y'all. I think y'all cheated. We need to do a recount and all of that. So they didn't do it last time, but this time they went ahead and did the little ceremonial thing. And Biden welcomed Trump back to the White House, man. So we're gonna be talking about that, as well as some other things in the news cycle right now. But one thing that's still hot that everybody's been talking about, the fights that went on this weekend. The Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight that was on Friday night. People still talking about that. And yesterday, the Bone Jones fight. Did y'all see that one? How many of y'all saw the Bone Jones fight yesterday? I only got to see the highlights. I actually forgot that it was even coming on. They didn't really do like a lot of big promotion on that one. You know, basically got overshadowed by the Tyson Jake Paul thing. That was real big. You couldn't get away from that. That was everywhere. The promotion for that was everywhere. I'm pretty sure they broke some records as far as numbers are concerned. I mean, it was streaming on Netflix. It wasn't a pay-per-view thing, so I don't know, how they calculate all of that. But I'm pretty sure, because even when you was watching Netflix, it was freezing up and glitching up. A lot of people was complaining about that, so they pretty much broke the server with the amount of viewership that they had all at one time. And so that kind of overshadowed the Bone Jones fight that went on yesterday. A lot of people wasn't even talking about that like that, unless you were really into the UFC fighting and all of that stuff like that. You didn't really know about it. But that went down yesterday as well. Bone Jones won the heavyweight title, but I did get a chance to see the highlights on that. But what y'all thought about the Mike Tyson joint, man? What y'all thought about the Tyson Jake Paul basically exhibition fight? That's basically what it was, even though they sanctioned it as a professional bout. It counts as a professional bout for both of them. It goes on their professional record. I think Tyson is the one that requested that it be sanctioned as a official bout rather than just an exhibition. So they went through the boxing commission, the Texas Boxing Commission, and all of that stuff. It was officially sanctioned, but it was still basically an exhibition fight. Now a lot of people are still talking about that whole situation. People are talking about it was scripted, it was rigged. And a lot of people got a lot of other things to say. People got different feelings about what they saw with the whole Tyson Jake Paul event. But how was y'all feeling about it, man? Because for me, leading up to it, I understood what it was. I understood it for what it was. What's going on, Crown 808? Shout out to my sister Crown 808 in the building. Sipping on my tea, y'all. Yeah, so I understood it to be what it was leading up to the fight. So I wasn't like super invested in it. Like, all week long at the barbershop, everybody talking about the fight. Like, yeah, yo, Mike gonna knock this white boy out. And I'm like, really, y'all? Like, y'all really think that? Y'all really think that Mike damn near 60 years old? You think he about to go in there and knock this young boy out? I just didn't see that happening. Right. And also I'm looking at it for what it is. It's an exhibition bout, man. They putting on a show for entertainment and to get a real big bag out of the situation. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna watch, even though I you know what I'm saying, I'm looking at it from that perspective. I'm still gonna watch. I can't not watch. You know what I'm saying? Can't not watch it. It is Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? He does still garner the attention. You know what I'm saying? It might be something real. I could be wrong. I could be looking at this wrong. It might be a real fight, and Tyson still got it in him to go in there and, maybe like everybody's saying, go in there and knock this white boy out. But I just didn't see it like that leading up to it. I'm like, man, y'all tripping, man. This ain't no real fight. I wasn't looking at it like a real fight, and it wasn't a real fight. You know what I'm saying? So people saying it's rigged or whatever, it wasn't rigged. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It was an exhibition fight. So you want to say it's scripted? All right, scripted. All right, to a certain degree. You can't really script it, you know what I'm saying, punch for punch like that. It's a live event. You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen. So, they kind of went at it a little bit in the first round. But you could see Mike Tyson's age, man, to be honest. Whether you think it was scripted, whether you think it was real, whatever you think about the situation, you could see Mike Tyson's age, you know what I'm saying? Especially in his legs. Roy Jones kept commenting on how his legs looked and all of that. And it was obvious. He came in there with the big knee brace on and all of that. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't very agile. He wasn't really able to move around like that and be quick on his feet and stuff like that. Now, his upper body still seemed very strong. You know what I'm saying? The punches still look a little dangerous when he does throw them out there. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of your punching power does come from the legs too. So, you know what I mean? Just looking at Mike, it was like, it wasn't really a good look. Looking at it, you don't really want to see Mike like that. I'm like, oh, man, damn, Mike. let's just hurry up and get this one over with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to see Mike hit the canvas. I'm like, just let this go. And it went by quick. You know what I'm saying? They had the 2-minute rounds, like 8 2-minute rounds or whatever. So it was going by pretty quickly. And I just wanted it to hurry up and be over because, man, just seeing Mike like that didn't look good to me. But I wasn't mad at him for doing it though. Like, some people was like, looking at it like, you kind of selling out and giving away your legacy or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, no. Like, the fact that at this age, 30 years after your prime, you able to still sell out one of the biggest stadiums in the country. You know what I'm saying? Get everybody all across the world to be able to tune in and all that. The fact that your name still holds that type of weight, why would you sit on that and not get a bag out of it? You know what I'm saying? When you don't really got to put your life in danger like that. You don't really got to put your body at risk too much like that. It's like you said, it's kind of scripted type of situation. Yeah, the white boy gonna get a little bit of clout or whatever the case may be. All right, fine. But Mike Tyson walked away with $20 million. You know what I'm saying? And some people say, well, it ain't all about the bag. The legacy is more important and all that. And it's like, yo, a lot of us care more about Mike Tyson's legacy than he do. Keep it a buck. Mike don't care about that shit the way a lot of us do. Mike do not give a damn about that shit. And now we all saw, the clip where the little girl, I think her name is Jazzy, was interviewing him. And she asked him, how he felt about legacy and all of that. And Mike kind of snapped. That was like a little cringe-worthy moment. That little clip, looking at that, you know what I'm saying? Mike dropping F-bombs and all that. The little girl like, damn, okay, all right, thanks for sharing. You know what I'm saying? That little thing was kind of cringy. But what he was saying in the video wasn't really nothing new. Mike been talking like that for years. You know what I'm saying? I know some people was looking at it like, he was saying that because he knows what he's about to do. You know what I'm saying? He's about to go in here and trade off his legacy and all of that for the bag and all that. Some people was looking at it from that perspective. I really didn't look at it that way because, like I said, Mike been talking like that for years. There's old clips of Mike talking like that. I remember they was interviewing him and they was showing all his championship belts and trophies and all of the stuff, all the accolades that he racked up over the years. And this was a long time ago. This is probably over a decade ago, 15 years ago or something like that. He was doing this interview and they looking at the belts and all of that. And Mike was like, this shit don't mean nothing. This shit is nothing. You know what I'm saying? Mike been talking like that. And so a lot of us are way more invested in Mike Tyson's legacy than he is. You know what I'm saying? And so I love Mike Tyson as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? I grew up watching Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? And of course, when you're growing up in that era and all of that, you kind of look at him like a hero to a certain degree. But I think, you get older, your perspective is supposed to change a little bit. You see things a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Once your head comes out of the clouds and everything. What's going on, Mama Love? Shout out to Mama Love. Jesse Paris in the building. What's going on with y'all? You get a little older, your perspective changes. You kind of see things for what it really is. You know what I'm saying? You become disillusioned with a lot of stuff. And it's like, okay, yeah, Mike Tyson, great fighter. Great personality, you know what I'm saying? Icon, all of that stuff that he is. But I don't look at this situation of Mike going in there and losing to a Jake Paul like that does something to the FBA legacy. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people looking at it like that, like, oh, damn, like FBA's took an L. I don't look at it like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was a real fight, I wouldn't look at it like that. But especially with the fact that it's not even a real fight. Like, to be honest, I don't think that this really damages Mike's legacy like that. Like, Mike Tyson is still Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, everybody understands what it was. You know what I'm saying? Mike Tyson, 58-year-old man, took this opportunity to go get a big bag, which really, this will probably be really his personal biggest payday from his whole career. Even though he's had $20 million fights in the past, $30 million fights in the past, back then a lot of people was in his pockets. Mike was getting robbed back then. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't walking away with all of that. Mike got a small circle now. You know what I'm saying? That $20 million, that's going to look real nice in Mike's bank account. You know what I'm saying? That's a real nice retirement fund right there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely not mad at Mike for going ahead and getting that and putting on a show. You know what I'm saying? It was still entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Also, I don't think that it hurts boxing like that. Like a lot of people looking at it like, you know, this is what boxing is becoming now, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever case may be. I don't think that's the case either. First of all, these exhibition fights ain't really nothing new. That's not nothing new. This is probably the biggest one. You know what I'm saying? But this not even Mike Tyson's first exhibition fight. Mike Tyson, you know, he did the exhibition against Roy Jones a couple years ago. He did something back in the days against another retired fighter. This was a while back. They had a little exhibition fight. Muhammad Ali, he did an exhibition fight in the 70s against like some Japanese wrestler or something like that. I think it was like somebody from Japan. He was a wrestler or a sumo wrestler or something. Muhammad Ali did an exhibition fight with him. You know, Mayweather been doing these exhibition fights since he's been retired, getting a big bag out of those. You know, he did the thing with Conor McGregor. He did the thing with a Japanese dude as well. I think he did. That dude was Japanese somewhere over there in Asia. He went over there and made the dude cry and all of that. Got a big bag out of that. So they running the bag up with these exhibition fights. So I don't think it hurts boxing as a sport. It's just it creates another lane. It opens up another lane for people to still be able to get a bag, you know, after their career is over. You know what I'm saying? A lot of fighters, a lot of our FBA fighters die broke. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the great ones. You know what I'm saying? They got up out of here with no money. You know what I'm saying? So to see somebody be able to age gracefully, still have their health for the most part, still have their mind intact and all of that stuff for the most part, and be able to live well, that's great. I don't see nothing wrong with that. I don't see nothing wrong with that. And as far as Jake Paul goes, now I don't really know too much about Jake Paul or his brother. I just know these some YouTube guys that be kind of trolling on the internet and, you know, doing stuff like this, these exhibitions and all of that. And you know, but I just kind of didn't really like Jake Paul without even knowing too much about him. Just kind of like, you know, this punk ass white boy, you know, about to go in there and fight Mike Tyson and all of that. But to be honest, me looking at the fight, the way that it went down, again, exhibition fight, kind of scripted, all of that, but still the way that it played out and the way that Jake Paul handled it, I actually gained a little bit of respect for him. I feel like he showed Mike the proper respect, especially at the end of the fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the fight like, yo, Mike don't got no legs. Mike can't really get out the way of these punches like that. At any point, I felt like Jake Paul could have really teed off on Mike. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he get hit with one of them punches, like I said, Mike's upper body is still strong and solid. If Jake mess around and get hit with one of them punches, he gonna go down too. But Mike not being able to move around like that and really get out the way, I felt like Jake could have kind of teed off on Mike. And you know how these white boys will take anything as a win. You know what I'm saying? I kind of was looking at it like, damn, I hope he don't do that. Nobody want to see that. You know what I'm saying? And I think he kind of understood that nobody wanted to see that. And he kind of took his foot off the gas a little bit as the fight was going on. He's like, you know, this is just a show. We're gonna get this money. This is Iron Mike right here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't about to do that. I ain't about to go crazy on this, man. Let me chill out and just put on a show, make it to the end of the fight. he bowed to the man. He gave him his props. He gave him his respect. And, you know, he helped to create this opportunity for Mike to be able to get the bag. And, you know, he was the promoter in the situation and all of that. Him, his team and all that, they put all this stuff together. So he got a bigger bag out of it. But, you know, when it was all said and done, I was like, you know what? I could pop my collar to Jake a little bit for this. I was not mad at the white boy at all. There was a level of sportsmanship from Jake Paul. Absolutely. He showed Mike the proper respect that he deserved, you know, for the work that he put in. You know what I'm saying? And even the way that he spoke in the post interview, the post-fight interview, you know what I'm saying? He let it be known, like, you know, none of us would be here if it wasn't for this man. You know what I'm saying? This man brought boxing to the big stage and made it a global thing like that. You know what I'm saying? So we wouldn't even be able to create this moment if it wasn't for Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson is the one that brought most of the eyes to the situation anyway. It's the name Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? But I thought that was honorable. You know what I'm saying? So I can give him a little credit for that. As far as Jake Paul, I can give him a little bit of credit for that. Tank Davis already called Jake Paul out. Yeah, a lot of people gonna call him out now. Jake Paul is a big draw now. He was already, you know what I'm saying, building himself up to be a big draw for these kind of events, you know, making a big spectacle out of everything. He makes himself a big draw. There's an opportunity for these boxers to get a real big bag to fight Jake Paul. You know what I'm saying? I saw what Tank had said. I didn't really agree with what he was saying though, because like I said, I thought Jake showed Mike the proper respect. You know what I'm saying? Because Tank was like, well, you ain't even finished the job and all of that. And again, nobody ain't want to see that. That would have been a bad look. That I feel like the way Jake did it brought his stock up more than it would have if he would have really tried to knock Mike out in there. If he'd have really went ham and tried to knock Mike out, I think people would have lost more respect for him and looked at him for just being a punk ass little white kid. And his stock would have went down if he would have did that. So I ain't really agree with Tank was saying, oh, you ain't even finished the job and all of that. Like, nah, Jake did what he was supposed to do. They put on a show, they got their money, and they riding off into the sunset. He did what he was supposed to do. You know what I mean? Showed the man his proper respect. And so, yeah, I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad at the whole situation. And again, I didn't go into it super invested in it like that. You know what I'm saying? I kind of saw it for what it was. So I wasn't disappointed. You know what I mean? I was actually entertained and, again, pleasantly surprised by the way everything played out. So I was cool with that situation. And so, again, yesterday was the Bone Jones fight. Did anybody get a chance to see the Bone Jones fight? I missed it, but I was looking at the highlights today. Bone Jones won that thing. He did like some spinning kicked the hell out this nigga in his ribs. That ended it all. That was a hell of a kick, the way he ended that joint. And again, shout out. It's good to see, you know what I'm saying, our FBA brothers out here doing the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to most sports, especially these combat sports, you know, we dominate in those arenas. That just is what it is. But at the same time, I don't get too super invested in these guys like that, as if they're our representation. To a certain degree, they are. You know what I'm saying? They are FBAs. And so in the arena that they in as fighters, as gladiators, yeah, they represent the beauty, the strength, the brilliance that comes from our lineage. You know what I'm saying? So in that respect, yes, it is a representative of our great heritage, because, you know, it ain't like it's a one-off. It ain't like it's just a one-off or anomaly. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? Going all the way back. Go all the way back to Jack Johnson. You know what I'm saying? This is what we do. We dominate in this arena. But outside of that, you know what I'm saying, who these people are as individuals, I don't allow that to spill over and allow them to be the representatives for FBA people like that, because a lot of these people are not invested in our heritage and our culture like that. They just not. And I definitely don't see Bones Jones as being one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the fight, Donald Trump was there. Donald Trump was there. Elon Musk was there. A couple other people, Kid Rock, a couple other people were sitting ringside or whatever. And, you know, he shouted out Donald Trump. I think he gave him his belt. I think he gave him the championship belt after he won and all of that. He was doing a little Trump dance in the ring and all of that. And some people was upset at that. Like, come on, man. You know, you cooning it up, you shucking and jiving and all that. And I'm like, this Bones Jones, like, I don't expect nothing else from him. I don't expect nothing different from him. This is not some B1 brigadier. You know what I'm saying? He's not that. Ain't he married to a white woman, by the way? It wasn't cringy to me. It wasn't cringy to me. I mean, this is Bone Jones. What y'all expect? What y'all expect? What he was going to do? Give Donald Trump the finger or something? Like, nah, he gave Donald Trump a little shout out or whatever. Did the little dance or whatever. You know, you also got to understand people know how to create viral moments as well. You know what I'm saying? This is live, you know, broadcasting, you know, the cameras is rolling and all of that. So doing stuff like that, it creates viral moments, keeps you in the news headlines and stuff like that. And so, you know, people capitalize on those different type of situations. And so I wasn't mad at that. I wasn't mad at that. But again, I'm not super invested in these guys like that. You know what I'm saying? It's different when you got somebody, you know what I'm saying, who might be, you know, a sports figure or some type of celebrity, somebody high profile who's in the spotlight like that, who has a history of, you know, representing Black empowerment, who has a track record of kind of putting it on the line, you know what I'm saying, for the masses of our people and all of that. That's a little different. You know what I'm saying? That's a little different. When you see somebody like that, like, you know, somebody who got like somebody like Jim Brown, for instance. You know, Jim Brown had that kind of respect. He had that kind of legacy attached to his name for years. You know what I'm saying? As being a writer. So later on in his career, during the last Trump presidency and all that, when we seen him up around the White House with Trump and all of that, we kind of looked at that funny style. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us were let down and disappointed by that. But that's because of the track record that he already had. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, damn, really? This what we doing? This what we doing, Jim Brown? Or when you see somebody like you know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar now, a lot of questionable stuff that he be doing out there nowadays, when back in the days he was kind of looked at as a writer too. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, I can understand people feeling let down or being disappointed or whatever the case may be. But somebody like a Bone Jones who doesn't have that kind of track record, it's like, what else you expect? You know what I'm saying? He took some of the edge of the Tyson Paul fight. I don't know what you mean by that. PD that remains said Jones took some of the edge of the Tyson Paul fight. Pause. I don't know what you mean. I don't know exactly what you mean. But yeah, I mean, that's how I felt about, you know what I'm saying, the fights that we saw, you know what I'm saying, and all of the antics around the fights and the optics of everything. That was my take on it. The minute I saw Kareem hanging out with Kris Jenner, I knew he was lost. Oh, I ain't even see that. I ain't even see that. Shout out to When Shit Gets Raya in the building. Somebody check on Nicety, man. Where's Nicety at, man? You know, she still ain't hit me back either. I don't know. Nicety, something might have came up on her end. I'm gonna have to check and make sure she's good. I'm gonna have to check and make sure she's good. Something must have came up on her end. But I'm here though. I'm here. And so let's get into some of what we're talking about today, shall we? And so, like I said, his win took the sting out of the Tyson fight. I guess if you felt a sting from the Tyson fight, then I guess you could say Bone Jones' win took the sting out of it. But my question for that would be, okay, if you're a person that felt like the Tyson fight was like kind of like an L for the community, and the Bones Jones win was kind of like a little bit of redemption as far as that, then how did you feel about the antics between him and Trump after the fight? Because you got to look at the whole thing. Now, you can't just look at the win. You got to look at how things played out after the win. Now, when he did the Trump dance and, you know, he was giving Trump all them props, and I think he gave him his belt and all of that, like I said, how did that make you feel then? You know what I'm saying? If you was looking for some redemption, because me personally, like I said, there was no sting from the Tyson fight. There was no sting in that. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad at what I saw. It was just entertainment. It was just entertainment. I don't look at it like, damn, now people going to think Jake Paul is greater than Mike Tyson. Nah, Mike Tyson is Mike Tyson. Even the people who really beat Mike Tyson back in the days, great fighters, by the way, Holyfield beat Mike twice. What's the British dude's name? Y'all help me out. What's the British dude's name? I can't even think of his name right now. Lennox Lewis beat Mike Tyson back in the days. Buster Douglas, you know what I'm saying? And even a couple of no name guys beat Mike Tyson later on towards the end of his career and all of that. And none of them have a greater legacy than Mike Tyson. None of the people that beat Mike Tyson have a greater legacy than Mike Tyson. None of them are as renowned as him. None of them are still like looked at as being feared to this day like he is. You know what I'm saying? Like Mike Tyson, this does nothing to that image and that persona that we know as I Am Mike Tyson. This little thing between him and Jake Paul, this did nothing to that. Just like when he really lost those fights to those fighters back in the days, that did nothing. Yeah, Buster Douglas. Yeah, he said, I didn't think too much of his buffoonery talking about Bone Jones. He always been a clown. Yeah, I mean, Bone Jones, you know, I don't know too much about him, but I know he got a white wife, and just the way he comes across, you know, in his interviews and stuff like that, he just seems like the black friend. He seems like the black friend to me. Like he don't really hang out with a lot of black people and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know too much about his background. He just seems like one of those dudes. You know what I'm saying? Hang out at the bar with a bunch of white people and shit. That's how he just comes across to me. Yeah, Mike got them 20 M's, man. Yeah, it's $20 million L. I ain't mad. I ain't mad at Mike at all. I ain't mad. I think people look too deep into stuff like this sometimes. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just too nonchalant about it. Maybe. I don't know. People are allowed to feel how they feel. People have their opinions, but that's my opinion. And so the title of today, Biden welcomes Trump back to the White House. And it seems like some of the bootlicks are very confused by this. A lot of the bootlicks are looking like, huh? I thought he was a threat to democracy, and I thought he was a fascist, and whatever happened to that? That was just a couple days ago. He was a fascist. Now y'all talking about welcome back, especially Charlemagne. Charlemagne's the main one out here looking confused. I'll tell you, boy, the bootlicks, they never learn. They never learn. They like, what the hell? Y'all got us out here. You got me getting on this radio every morning, calling this man a fascist and a threat to democracy and all of this stuff. You got me telling all these people how dangerous he is and all of that. And y'all just welcome him right back. Y'all check out Charlemagne. This was Charlemagne the other day on the Breakfast Club. Hold on. Fair use, by the way, YouTube. Fair use. This is Charlemagne the other day on the Breakfast Club talking about Trump being welcomed back to the White House by Joe Biden. Hold on.
America, like it or not, and we all hope for the best for this country. That's all we can do. But don't y'all find it strange that now that he's won, they're not calling him a fair democracy? They're not calling him a fascist. I mean, damn, on Monday. On Monday, they was just calling him that. I would think that, if you really believe that, then somebody's speech would be
they got
about
the music playing in the
America
background and all that. I can't even play that shit. They got Jay-Z song playing in the background and all of that. But y'all get the point if you haven't seen that clip already. You know what I'm saying? Charlamagne, like, damn, y'all was just saying he was a fascist and a threat to democracy. Now y'all welcome him back to the White House. And I don't know who this girl is they got on here. I thought they was bringing Jess Hilarious back to the Breakfast Club. I thought I saw that in the headline somewhere a couple weeks ago. I don't know who this girl is that they got on there, but she talking about they can't do that. They can't say that. What you mean? What you mean? Like I said, when Trump lost the last election in 2020, he wasn't welcoming Biden to the White House. He didn't do this smooth transition, ritualistic, ceremonial thing that they do at the Oval Office. Trump said, nah, damn that. I ain't about to play this game with y'all. Trump stood on business. Trump still called them the same thing he was calling them before the election. You know what I'm saying? But the Democrats, they just show you how phony they was the whole time. It was nothing but fear mongering. It was all cap from the beginning. They never meant a word of it. They was just trying to win an election. You know what I'm saying? It was all politics for them. That's all it was about for them. Wasn't really about no real serious threat to democracy and all of this stuff that they was trying to push on people. But the thing that the bootlicks don't understand, and we all understand this, you know what I'm saying? We all students are nearly fuller in here, you know what I'm saying? White supremacy always takes both sides of an argument. White supremacy always takes both sides. That's how they guarantee themselves a win. That's how they guarantee themselves a win. These parties don't mean nothing to the white supremacists. These white supremacists take it on and off like a jacket. Whatever is suitable, whatever is, expedient at the time. These parties don't mean nothing to them. These parties, political parties, these religions, these organizations, none of this stuff means nothing to them. What they practice is something called white supremacy. And so whatever it takes to maintain that, they have their little infightings about what ideas are better to carry out the white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? Which tactics are going to be more effective to maintain white supremacy. They have their little infighting about that. But at the end of the day, they all going to get on code with each other when it comes to maintaining that system. So it don't matter if it's red or if it's blue, long as the system is still intact. That's all that really matters to them. And so the bootlicks, they don't seem to understand that. A lot of these bootlicks, like some of the bootlicks, they just playing the game, right? They looking for a little position for themselves. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep their little job. They want to keep their little position, whatever it is. And so they understand they got to go out here and sell the soap. You know what I'm saying? So when it's time to sell the soap, they go out here and sell the soap, and they do the best that they can to try to get their bosses in power so that they position and they butter biscuits could be hot and ready. And a lot of the bootlegs, they understand that for what it is. They hustling to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? They understand that to be what it is. But some of these fools, they really buy into this shit. Charlamagne really on the radio believing this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's it. He thought this was true. He's like, what you mean? Welcome back. What's going on here? Why y'all have me out here saying all this stuff? I could have, if that was the case, I could have had Trump on. You know, he wanted to have Trump on the Breakfast Club. You know, he wanted to bring Trump on the Breakfast Club. You know what kind of ratings that would have brought? You know what I'm saying? But they probably was like, nah, can't give this man a platform. He's a fascist and a threat to democracy. He was like, yeah, you're right. He's a right. Threat to democracy. Yeah, we don't want to gives guy no platform. He's a threat to democracy. No, we're just gonna keep calling him a threat to democracy. Okay, got you, boss. Got you, boss. But Charlemagne was really buying into this shit, and so now he confused. He like, what the hell? He don't know what to think. He don't know what to think. Right. Drank all the Kool-Aid. Right. Say that, Rhea. The Clintons was at Trump and Melania's wedding. They all folks. They all rock with each other at the end of the day behind closed doors. They all rock with each other. But a lot of people talking about, you know, Trump been announcing his cabinet members and all of that. He been putting a lot of people in position, and a lot of people been pointing out, ain't no Negroes. Ain't no Negroes in the cabinet. Hold on, let me see if I get a picture of this real quick. I think, hold on. Damn, this thing low, slow as hell. Hold on. Where is it? Oh yeah, here go one. I guess I could show y'all this one. Let me share the screen. Let me share the screen. People like, and I think, you know, some of the bootlegs, they trying to put this in our face like we give a damn. Look, I think 19 Keys posted this one up. But this is what Trump cabinet is looking like so far. Trump's administration picks so far. White is all get out, ain't it? Can y'all see that? Did he say that? Somebody said Trump announces he's deporting Chinese and Asians first. Did he really say that? Frontline Black News. He said Sarah pointed it out. What Biden's picks? Talking about Trump's picks. Yeah, it's looking real Mayo-ish. They got Vivek Ramaswamy. They got him in there, and I think some other Asian dude. I think he's Chinese. Some other guy I saw in there looked like a Chinese dude or a Japanese dude or something like that in there. But everybody else looked pretty much white, and I'm talking about white, nigga. These white folks. Yeah, but a lot of the Democratic bootlicks, they trying to throw this in our face like, okay, like we don't care. First of all, we didn't support Trump like that over here in these parts. I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I wasn't over here bigging Trump up and acting like he was some type of advocate for foundational Black Americans or something like that. Like he was going to get in there and do something for us. No, we never thought that. Also, he wasn't going around saying that. Trump wasn't out here trying to front like he was about to do something for Black people. He wasn't trying to front like he was doing anything that got to do with any type of Black empowerment whatsoever. He ain't even trying to front like that. So why would we expect that? We don't got those kind of expectations. So we're not disappointed. We're not surprised. So y'all throwing this up in our face like this is some type of flex on us. It ain't hitting like you think it's supposed to hit. It ain't really hitting like you think it's supposed to hit. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, Trump being Trump. You know what I'm saying? We know what we getting with Trump. That's the thing. We know what we getting with Trump. You know what I'm saying? But most of us, we know how to deal with that. We know how to react to that. So this is good. This is good. Black people need to see the United States for what it really is. We don't need white supremacy to be carried out in blackface or tan face or any other kind of face. We need our white supremacy hot on a platter so that we ain't out here practicing what Dr. Claude Anderson calls inappropriate behavior. That's the problem with the Democrats. Too many of us have an inappropriate relationship with the Democrats. a inappropriate disposition when the Democrats are in power. Way too many of us have an inappropriate disposition. But now this forces more and more of us to get on code. This forces more and more of us to try to come up with solutions for ourselves. And also there are some consolation prizes to be had as well. Some of the stuff that Trump is talking about doing does benefit us indirectly, more so than anything that the Democrats are talking about doing. If we was to line it up side by side with the pros and cons of, you know what I'm saying, which administration will give us the most benefits, it's Donald Trump hands down. It's Donald Trump hands down, even though it's not no direct benefits, even though they're not doing anything with the intention of benefiting us directly. But some of our values and some of our morals and principles as a culture happens to line up with those on the right more when it comes to a lot of this alphabet stuff that's going on. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of the alphabet stuff, they also talking about breaking up some of these alphabet organizations, FBI, CIA, and stuff like that. Yeah, Trump and them talking about breaking that stuff up. You know what I'm saying? That's good for us. You know what I'm saying? That's a consolation prize. Getting all of this LGBT stuff out the schools with our kids and all of that. That's a consolation prize. You know what I mean? Getting some of these deportations popping. That's a consolation prize. And I also saw something today where Trump was talking about mandating insurance companies to pay for what do you call that? What do you call that? The stuff that the women need to help them get pregnant. Vitrio or something like that. What do you call that? Women that have a hard time getting pregnant, they got to go through some type of treatment, procedure, or whatever the case may be to help them get pregnant. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I forgot what it's called. Donald Trump was talking about making it mandatory for insurance companies to cover that. Now that's something. IVF, I think so. A Vitrio something, IVF, I think that's what it is. So yeah, that's something that really is for white women. You know what I'm saying? He's doing that so white women could get pregnant and make more babies. That's his reason for doing it, because we know that the birth rates in white society are suffering. You know, more of them are dying than being born. A lot of white women are having trouble getting pregnant and reproducing and all of that, and making new white babies and all of that. We know that they're having a hard time with that. So that's the reason why he's doing it. The IVF. Yes, thank you, y'all. In vitro fertilization. Thank you. Thank you. So he's talking about making it mandatory for that. And even though, like I said, this is something that he's doing specifically for white society, you know what I'm saying, to benefit white women and help them get pregnant, it's still a consolation prize, right? Because when the Democrats talk about reproductive rights, quote unquote, reproductive rights, they talking about abortions. When the Democrats is telling us how important we're supposed to prioritize women's reproductive rights, they talking about abortions. But Donald Trump is talking about making it mandatory for insurance companies to pay for these, what's it called, y'all? In vitro fertilizations, so that women can have more babies. That's reproductive rights. You know what I'm saying? If you're talking about reproductive rights, talking about the ability to reproduce, they promoting reproductive rights. You know, they're promoting abortion in the name of reproductive rights. What sense does that make? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, sure. Donald Trump, you know, he's doing this to target white women and benefit them the most. That's cool. But what the Democrats are doing is targeting black women and killing black babies. So which one would you rather have? Right. Shout out to my dude Pedro in the building. Yeah, they talking about carrying out Margaret Sanger's dream. What's reproductive about getting an abortion? That don't make no sense. So, like I said, yeah, Trump, you know, he ain't for us like that, but there's some good consolation prizes. There's some good consolation prizes. You know what I'm saying? Because some of our women might need those treatments too. Those IVF treatments. Because he's also talking about and I forgot exactly what he said, but he was saying something about some kind of tax break for women that have children. Like he's incentivizing people to have babies. Yeah, right. They promoting abortion as a form of birth control. You know what I'm saying? Now we understand there's certain circumstances where women might need to get an abortion. That might be important. A woman's life could be in danger. You know what I'm saying? It might have been some situation that, you know, caused the pregnancy in the first place that you might not want to go through with that. You know, some situations are understandable, but for the most part, that's not why women are going to these abortion clinics. For the most part, in the Black community, most of Black women are not getting abortions because, you know, it's a risk to their own life and their own health, or it's because of some type of rape or molestation. Do these things happen? Yes, from time to time they do happen, and those women should have the option. And I've heard Trump say he supports some of those options as well. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, these women are running to the abortion clinic as a form of birth control. You know what I'm saying? And so the Democrats are promoting that as a way to keep those type of women being irresponsible. That's all that's about. That's all that's about. Because you juxtapose that to what else they promoting. You know, you go to a Kamala Harris rally and it's a goddamn twerk contest. You know what I'm saying? So they got the abortion trucks and vans outside. They're giving free abortions in the parking lot. And on stage, they got Glorilla and Megan Thee Stallion having a twerk contest. You know what I'm saying? So that just shows you, you know, what they trying to prioritize in our community. You know what I'm saying? But I forgot exactly what Trump said about the tax situation, but he was trying to throw out some incentives out there for women to actually have babies. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some type of tax break he was talking about. I forgot what it was. And but here, this is him talking about the IVF treatments.
I'm announcing today in a major statement that under the Trump administration, your government will pay for, or your insurance company will be mandated to pay for, all costs associated with IVF treatment, fertilization for women, IVF treatment. Because we want more babies, to put it very nicely. And for the same reason, we will also allow new parents to deduct major newborn expenses from their taxes, so that parents that have a beautiful baby will be able. So we're pro-family. Nobody's ever said that before. But the IVF treatments are expensive. It's very hard for many people to do it and to get it. But I've been in favor of IVF right from the beginning. I'm announcing today.
So yeah, he ain't got no Negroes in the administration, but I'll take that. I'll take that. That sounds good to me. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be able to deduct any major expenses associated with having a new child. So what's that? Your hospital bills and all of that stuff? All right. I'll take that. And so, yeah, the Democrats, man, I don't know what they was thinking about making that a major campaign issue. I don't know. I don't know who the target audience was for that. They really try to appeal to the lowbrow section of Black society. You know what I'm saying? They really try to appeal to that. ratchet society. And so another thing that's good, I think we talked about it last week on here too, with the incoming Trump administration, that I like is the RFK situation. So he's talking about putting Robert Kennedy in charge of the Department of Health. Robert Kennedy is talking about getting a lot of these chemicals out of the foods, out of the water, out of the out of the chemtrails from the airplanes and all of that stuff. That's another consolation prize right there. And now Mike Pence, former vice president of Donald Trump, Mike Pence, they said he calls on U.S. Senate to reject Trump pick of RFK. So he's trying to block it. That's interesting. U.S. senators to reject Trump pick of RFK Jr. Says former Vice President Mike Pence, who served under Donald Trump during the former president's first term, issued a statement on Friday calling on Senate Republicans to reject Trump's pick of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead the Department of Health and Human Services due to Kennedy's past support of abortion rights. That's what he's trying to use? Hold on. Pence issued the statement on Friday through Advancing American Freedom, the political organization he founded, writing that Trump-Pence administration was unapologetically pro-life, and the HHS office can lead the country toward a respect for life or away from it. I believe the nomination of RFK Jr. to serve as the secretary of the HHS is an abrupt departure from the pro-life record of our administration and should be deeply concerning to millions of pro-life Americans who have supported the Republican Party and our nominees for decades. But look, RFK is not prioritizing that. Now, I don't know what his views are on abortion. You know what I'm saying? He might have different views than traditional Republicans or than, what Donald Trump is talking about. But he's not prioritizing that. That's not what he's talking about doing. When he's talking about what the things that he's planning on doing on day one through executive action, by the way, he's talking about creating solutions to some of these cancer-causing chemicals that's in our food and in our water. Right. That's what he's prioritizing. You know what I'm saying? He was running for president before he joined the Trump administration. He was running for president. And so when he was on the campaign trail, he didn't have mobile abortion clinics outside in the parking lot. He wasn't doing that. So that he's trying to throw that up as a smokescreen and not say what it really is, because he must be tied in with these pharmaceutical companies. You know what I'm saying? These pharmaceutical companies is in the pockets of a lot of these politicians. You know what I'm saying? They got all these super PACs and all of that stuff. They run a lot of stuff over there in Washington, D.C. And so that's what the real concern is about. That's what the real concern is about. So he's trying to throw this abortion thing in there as a smokescreen because RFK ain't even talking about that. So to say that, that's cap. That's cap, Mike Pence. That is all cat, by the way. Some other stuff I wanted to talk to y'all about. Yeah, there's a lot we could get into. Let me shift a little bit. Should I get on that? All right, real quick. Let me just shift real quick. Did y'all see New York State bought out Dame Dash share of Rockefeller Records? For those that don't know, Dame Dash has been trying to sell his share. He owned a third of Rockefeller Records. He owned a third. Jay-Z owned a third. And Biggs. You know, the three of them founded Rockefeller Records together. Dame Dash has been trying to sell his share for a little while now, a couple years now, I want to say. He was trying to do it before through NFTs. He was trying to do something through the NFTs or whatever. Jay-Z was trying to block that sale. He was been trying to auction it off for a while now. He put up his Rockefeller chains and all of that. He was trying to get like $10 million for his share in Rockefeller Records. And so the other day, New York State at an auction bought Dame Dash share for $1 million, y'all. This is sad. Dame Dash not getting nothing from that Rockefeller share. He owned a third of that company. How much is Rockefeller Records worth? I know the Rockefeller Records, the only album that's in the catalog is Reasonable Doubt. But that album alone, you know what I'm saying? That's Jay-Z's first album. It's a hip-hop classic. You know what I'm saying? It's very much coveted. They do all type of anniversaries every time. You know, it's a 5-year anniversary, 10-year anniversary, 15-year anniversary. It's a lot of equity just in that album alone. And I don't know what else is included in, you know, under the umbrella of Rockefeller at this point. But it sold at the auction to New York State for $1 million. Now, Dame Dash, yeah, Reasonable Doubt. Reasonable Doubt is the only album that's part of the catalog. The rest of the albums Jay-Z owns, or I think he owns the majority of them. I don't know if he owns all of them outright, but he owns the majority of the rest of those albums. When he became the president of Def Jam, that was how that deal went. You know what I'm saying? They offered him his masters to all of the albums after Reasonable Doubt, because Reasonable Doubt didn't come out through Def Jam. Yeah, Ray said a 3-bedroom house in Toronto is worth like 1.5 million. Yeah. And look, here's the thing. Dame Dash not even going to get the $1 million because Dame Dash owes like $2 million in back taxes, something like that, I think it was. And he owes like $500,000 in child support. And so this is the reason why he was trying to sell his share of the company in the first place, to get out of debt. That's the reason why he was trying to sell it, so he can get out of debt. You know, the IRS is on his head. Child support is on his head. So he like, well, let me let go of this asset I'm sitting on, get rid of this debt, and have some type of liquidity. He was trying to get 10 million. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he was offering the 2 Rockefeller chains, original Rockefeller chains with it. Like, yo, whoever buy this, you're going to get the chains to go with it and all of that. He was trying to get 10 million. And so this makes me think, and this just dawned on me too, because a while back we reported that there was a situation. Well, we know he was saying that Jay-Z was trying to block him from being able to sell it. Jay-Z, people from Jay-Z's camp had put out that the ownership was going to go back to the artist in 2028, I think. 2028 or 2032, somewhere around there. Like there was only like a couple of years left until the artist rights are reverted back, is what Jay-Z put out there to try to deter people from buying it. They're like, yeah, he out here trying to sell his share, but if I was you, I wouldn't really buy it because the rights are going to go right back to me in a couple of years anyway. So you're only going to own it for a couple of years. I don't know if you want to spend that kind of dough. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people probably was interested at first. A lot of people probably was like, oh, 10 million for a third of Reasonable Doubt? Let me get that. And so Jay-Z, I think, they said, put it out there that, you know, it ain't really worth what you think it's worth because the time is almost up for the rights to revert back to me anyway. So I don't know if y'all want to go out there and spend that money like that. So it kind of muddied the waters for Dame to be able to get his share off like that. But then it was I think it was a Supreme Court judge in New York that said Jay-Z couldn't do that, or I don't know if they filed something against Jay-Z, but the courts did something against Jay-Z to say that what he was doing was like some type of hostile interference. Like, yo, you can't do that because you fucking up the bag for this man, and it's not actually true. The rights ain't gonna revert back to the artist for another 70 years or something like that. They said. I forgot all the details, but y'all look up, you know, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, y'all look it up to see all the details. But it was something to that effect. Like what they were saying was what Jay-Z had put out there wasn't exactly true. The rights wasn't going to revert back for quite some time now. And what you're doing is hostile interference, which is, you know, some type of corporate crime. You can't do that. Right. And so now, as I'm thinking about it, that came from a New York Supreme Court. And so now New York State is the one that ended up purchasing it for $1 million. So was that the purpose of them, you know, running Jay-Z down in the first place? They didn't want to discourage Dame from auctioning it off because they like, oh, we can get up in here. They like, yo, Jay, you need to fall back, man. They told Jay, nah, you need to fall back. We about to get this thing for the low. That's what it looks like. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's what it looks like. New York State pulled a little whammy bammy. But Dame, man, god damn, Dame ain't gonna get nothing because the IRS snatching that up. The IRS coming for that, all of it, because he owes like $2 million. So now you just made a sale for $1 million. IRS gonna snatch that up. So he gets none of that, and he still owes more back taxes, and he still owes child support. That's fucked up. Mayor Adams and Sean are cool with one another. I don't know about that. I'm not saying yay or nay. I'm just saying I don't know about that. But that's messed up, man. That's messed up. So yeah, I saw that. That wasn't no good news right there for Dame. I know Dame is like, wow. But speaking of payouts and things of that nature, another thing that went down this week was Malcolm X's daughter and Benjamin Crump. They had a press conference announcing, what is it? Over $100 million lawsuit against the CIA, the FBI, and the NYPD for the plot to assassinate Malcolm X, the conspiracy to assassinate Malcolm X. They are suing the CIA, the NYPD, and the FBI for the role that they played and basically orchestrating the assassination of their father, the icon, Malcolm X. Now, y'all know I did the song Who Killed Malcolm. If you don't know, you need to go check it out. It's available on all streaming platforms right now. Who Killed Malcolm by Sincere Love the God and DJ RP Beats. Also, we did the lyrical breakdown right here on Sincere Love the Godcast with Dr. Wesley Muhammad breaking down the lyrics and breaking down the whole situation. Talking about basically we've been saying this. It was the government, it was the CIA, it was the FBI, and it was the NYPD. That's who killed Malcolm X, y'all. This is not a mystery anymore, man. This is well documented. This is well documented. I really do not understand the people who are still out here pointing the finger at Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam. I do not understand it. I do not understand it. The facts is all there, man. This is the reason why the family is going after the government and these alphabet entities who were involved with the murder, because they have all of the facts. And we've been knowing this. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I wrote the song. I been knew what it was. You know what I'm saying? And I met the family before. I met the daughters before. You know what I'm saying? I've spoke with them about this very topic. about this very topic. This was at when Obama was running for his second term, when they had the debate party against Mitt Romney. What year was that? 2011 or something like that. But yeah, I was good friends with Malcolm Shabazz, the grandson of Malcolm X. That was my guy. Rest in power to him. And I was with him and his family on the night of the debate. They had a debate party in Harlem. It wasn't at Sylvia's. It was at another restaurant in Harlem. We was all at a debate party out there when he was debating against Mitt Romney. And I was sitting with the family, chopping it up with the family. I was part of the family. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful people, great people. You know what I'm saying? And me and Malcolm, we used to have these kind of discussions all the time, because that's actually how we met. I cut his hair. He came in the barbershop one day and got a haircut. And he saw the Malcolm X tattoo on my arm. And he was like, "Oh, that's Malcolm's tattoo." Because I didn't recognize him or anything when he was in my chair. You know what I'm saying? I was just cutting his hair, and he saw the tattoo on my arm, and he's like, "Oh, you got Malcolm X tatted?" And so I'm like, "Yeah, no doubt." And he was like, "Yeah, that's my grandfather." And I looked at him, and I was like, "Mecca?" Because I heard about him. I never met him before, but I heard about him, and I knew him as Mecca. Like, people around my way knew him as Mecca. And so when he said that, I looked at him, I'm like, "Mecca?" And he was like, "You calling me Mecca?" Like, I guess people that call him by that name must know him knew him more intimately. So he looked at me like, "Mecca? Like, you calling me Mecca? Like, I know you?" Like, he was like, "We know each other already?" And I'm like, "Nah, I never met you before, but what I'm saying, I heard about you and shit. I know, we got some people in common. I know some people that have been around you, whatever the case may be." And so that's how we met. You know what I'm saying? And we start chopping it up from there, and then we just got tight. We just got real tight. You know what I'm saying? He heard my music. He was real heavy into my music, and he wanted to try to help me with my music career. You know what I'm saying? And so he used to be promoting my music and all of that stuff like that. And we would build heavy. You know what I'm saying? And so I got invited to a few of the events with the family, but on that night when we was at the debate party, he brought it up. You know what I'm saying? We all sitting down, chopping it up or whatever the case may be. And so, he piggybacked off a conversation that me and him was already having about, the assassination of Malcolm X and all of that. And so he brought it up, and I had the discussion with them face to face. And they told me back then they knew what it was. They knew it was the government. They weren't accusing the nation. Back then, they wasn't saying that. You know what I'm saying? There were people who were active members, and there were people who were former members or whatever the case may be. But those people were infiltrators of the Nation of Islam. They were sent by the government to infiltrate the Nation of Islam. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't got to get deep into that, man. All of the stuff is out there. Dr. Wesley Muhammad, he has a whole page dedicated to this. He has a whole series of videos breaking this stuff down very meticulously. And like I said, we did a lyrical breakdown right here on my channel where we talk about this stuff. So y'all can go look at that. I'm just saying, I don't understand the people who are still, even after all of this, are still hell-bent on saying, nah, it was Farrakhan. Like, what? Like, what? I don't know what y'all talk about, man. But anyway, this is good. They putting the CIA, FBI, and all them on the hot seat over $100 million lawsuit. I hope they get it. I hope they win it. And hopefully, it's a civil suit, but and I'm not no lawyer or nothing like that, but I would think that the proceedings would cause more of the FBI files and documents to be revealed, because many of the files have already been revealed, and that's why we know, as much as we know now. But there are still, Dr. Wesley Muhammad told me, there are still, tons of documents that are still sealed, FBI documents, CIA documents, and other organizations too, because this goes all the way up to the White House. But there are tons and tons and tons of sealed documents that still haven't come out. So I would think that the procedures for this case would cause them to release even more of these documents so that, you know, we could really get to the bottom of how everything actually went down. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, looking forward to seeing how this plays out, man. What else we talking about? Yeah, so that's dope. Yeah, R.P. Malcolm and his grandson. Yeah, that was my guy. That was my guy. Time it aligns with the fall of America, aka Alphabet Societies. Right. Right. Yeah, it's a big shift taking place, man. You know, if you're paying attention, it's a big shift taking place in all areas. Now, one thing that's starting to come out that's very interesting, and I ain't gonna get too deep into this, but there has been some information coming out of the Pentagon about UFOs and not just UFOs, but even extraterrestrials. You know what I'm saying? A lot of there's some, I guess you call them whistleblowers, some people in intelligence agencies who are testifying, you know, in Congress and everything like that about some of these sightings and some of these interactions that, you know, our government has had over the years, over the decades. It's not like they're saying, oh, we just seen a UFO the other day. They talking about stuff that they've been knowing for decades now that they just now starting to talk about. So that's another thing that's a big shift that's taking place right now. The recent congressional hearing titled Unidentified Anomalous Phenomenon Exposing the Truth. That's the title. Quote, Unidentified Anomalous Phenomenon Exposing the Truth. Brought together experts and former officials to discuss the U.S. government's knowledge of unidentified anomalous phenomenon, aka UAPs. The session raised questions about whether advanced technologies or extraterrestrial intelligence are interacting with Earth and whether these findings have been concealed. Key testimonies included Luis Elizondo, a former Department of Defense official, claimed that UAPs are real and that advanced technologies not made by a known government are monitoring sensitive military installations. He suggested the U.S. possesses UAP technologies and noted a secretive global arms race related to these phenomena. 2. Tim Gallaudet, a retired Navy Rear Admiral, shared his account of receiving a famous Go Fast video from a quote Go Fast video from a naval exercise in 2015. This video depicted an object exhibiting the flight capabilities beyond current technologies. He claimed that related emails mysteriously disappeared from recipients' accounts without explanation. 3. Michael Gold, a former NASA associate administrator, emphasized the need to overcome stigmas around UAP research and called for collaboration between government and academic institutions to study these occurrences transparently. 4. The overarching theme was a demand for increased transparency and investigation into UAPs, as well as the potential implications of these technologies on national security. These testimonies reflect a shift toward openly addressing UAPs and their significance, urging accountability and scientific exploration. Look, man, the universe is extremely vast. Why would we ever think that we're the only ones outside? Why would we ever think we were the only ones in this vast universe, the only intelligent beings, the only intelligent life form in this vast universe? Why would we ever think that? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam, they've been talking about this phenomenon going back to the 1930s. You know what I'm saying? They've been talking about this for a very long time, talking about the mothership and the mother planes and all of this stuff, the wheel. You know what I'm saying? People thought they was crazy. People thought they was tripping. You know what I'm saying? But as time goes on and more things get revealed, they keep proving Elijah Muhammad right every single day. Yeah, they're talking about the baby planes underwater and stuff like that. And this also goes back to, for me, in the 90s, man, there was a popular book called Behold the Pale Horse, which was written by William Cooper, who was another naval intelligence official. I forgot exactly what his rank was or what his title was or whatever the case may be, but he was somebody in the Navy intelligence, who did a book. I think the book came out in the 80s or the late 70s or something. The book came out, but the book was real popular in the 90s. I remember reading that book when I was young, when I was like a teenager. I think it's time to start tapping back into that book, man. A lot of stuff that he was talking about that in that book, we are living in it right now. We are living in it right now. And the chapter that always stands out to me, that never left my memory, mostly because we are living in it, there's a title, as a chapter called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. That chapter is like, it was, I remember reading that, it was like reading a horror book. Like if you used to read like Dean Koontz or Stephen King books back in the days, you know how you'd be reading the book and it's almost like you watching a horror film, like you start getting a little scared and nervous and shit. That's how I remember feeling like that, reading that chapter, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, because it starts off the chapter like painting a picture. Like imagine you wake up one day and you go to the post office. He describes it like a regular day, and then all this wild stuff starts happening. And in the chapter, he was talking about a lot of the technology that didn't exist then that exists now. And those were the silent weapons for these quiet wars, talking about how we're going to be monitored. Our every move is going to be monitored, how all of our transactions are going to be documented, how everything is going to be digitized. You know what I'm saying? How there's going to be cameras everywhere, how there's going to be speakers and somebody listening and watching all the time, everything that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? We living in that stuff right now. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of stuff was revealed in that book, Behold the Pale Horse. He talked about the Kennedy assassination. And in the book, they actually had a number that you could call to order a copy of the VHS tape of the Kennedy assassination so you could see it for yourself. Because what they showed on television, the footage that they show of the Kennedy assassination on television is not all the way panned out. They always crop it down so that, you see JFK getting shot in the back of the car. But if you pan it out, you can actually see the dude in the front reaching back and pulling the trigger and all of that. You know what I'm saying? He was selling that tape back in the days. And of course, he was murdered mysteriously. Also, William Cooper. You know what I'm saying? They got him up out of here. But that was a very popular book back in the day. That book used to be floating around in the hood and in the jails and prisons and all of that. And what else he was talking about in there? He was talking about these UFO phenomenon. He was talking about stuff that he saw under the water when he was in the Navy and all of that, when he was in the submarines and all of that. He talked about coming in contact with some of these ships and some of these extraterrestrial beings and all of that in the water, in the oceans. He talked about that in the book. He talked about some of these Satanist organizations that are behind some of our government powers and stuff. How a lot of these people in these government powers belong to these fraternities, the Skull and the Bones and all of this stuff, and how these people are secretly Satanists and they worship Satan and all of this stuff. He was naming names and all of that. If you never heard of that book, if you never read that book, go get that book, man. Behold the Pale Horse. That's a classic. I think I need to get that book again to kind of refresh my memory a little bit. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that we seeing now, man. If you was a hip hop head back in the days, in the 90s, a lot of rappers was talking about this stuff. Somebody sent me a video the other day of Method Man. It was like an interview. Method Man was on the street. Somebody was interviewing him. This must have been in like the late 90s or something like that. And he was talking about the Illuminati and the New World Order and, them putting microchips inside you, you know what I'm saying, to keep track of you and all of that. He was talking about them using some of the pharmaceutical companies using the jabs and all of that stuff to insert other nefarious things inside your body to be able to keep track of you and all that. A lot of rappers was talking about this stuff back in the days, whether it was Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep, Goody Mob, you know, the Dungeon Family and all of that. Who else? A lot of rappers back in the days was heavy into the lot of this stuff, man, because these books, like I said, was floating around in the hood. A lot of people used to be coming home from the jails with these books and stuff like that. And also, there was a guy, I forgot this guy's name, man. It was a white dude. There used to be these VHS tapes floating around that we used to watch, where there was this white dude on there, man. What was his name? He used to be talking about a lot of this stuff. He was kind of like, almost like, what's the dude from InfoWars? Y'all know who I'm talking about. The dude from InfoWars, whatever his name is. He was kind of like that way back in the days. But the tapes used to be floating around. The VHS tapes stuff used to be floating around. Yeah, so a lot of rappers used to be talking about this stuff back in the day. So we always was kind of privy. You know, we might not have had all of the pieces to the puzzle to know exactly what was going on and, you know, how these things were going to be taking place. But we was always kind of privy. You know what I'm saying? If you had your third eye open, if you had your ear to the streets a little bit, you was kind of privy to some of the stuff that was going on behind the scenes. And some of these, what they call now the deep state and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? This type of information been floating around in the hood and all that, man. If you're from, you know, if you're from where I'm from the era I'm from and all that, you remember, you know what I'm talking about. But we starting to see it now, man. So everybody wasn't as crazy as you think, as you thought they was. The Dogons, a tribe in Mali creation story dives into extraterrestrial beings. Beyonce dedicated her music video, Find Your Way Back to Them. Black people been tapped into it. Right. David Icke. Somebody know who I'm talking about. Shout out to Crew Royalty. David Icke. That was the dude that used to be on them tapes back in the days. Them David Icke tapes. Yeah. Somebody know what I'm talking about. Here we go. But yeah, she mentioned the Dogons, the Beyonce video. Yeah, even Nas on the Nigga album, you know, it's called the Untitled album. I still call it the Nigga album. He had a song on there called We Are Not Alone. And he had talked about he had an encounter. You know, he talked about an encounter that he had in the song. I guess he saw a ship or a plane or something in the sky. Him and Horse from the Bravehearts, you know, they saw something back in the days. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I'm not surprised by none of this stuff, man. I'm not surprised by none of it. But going back to the Malcolm thing real quick, y'all remember the Netflix put out the documentary a couple years ago, Who Killed Malcolm and all of that. And the dude Abdur Rahman Muhammad was like the front man for the documentary. I don't know who was really behind the documentary, but he was the guy that they was giving credit to for putting the whole documentary together. And he put out a statement the other day after the announcement of the lawsuit came out. He said, many want to know why I was not included in that press conference, because the whole thing is a scam. That's why. He's calling this whole thing a scam. How the hell is it a scam, my dude? How is it a scam? They're going after some of the most powerful entities on the planet with hard evidence about what they did to their father, man. How is it a scam? Like, people just be throwing these words around, because the thing with him, like, I watched the documentary. The documentary was a pretty cool documentary. I think it's still on Netflix. If you haven't never had a chance to watch it, it's a pretty cool documentary. It revealed some things that I hadn't known before. But what it didn't do was indict the Nation of Islam. And I think that's what he thought the documentary was going to do. I think that was his goal and his mission for doing the documentary, was to indict the Nation of Islam for playing a role or being responsible for the assassination of Malcolm X. And I just didn't walk away from the documentary with that understanding, even with what he presented. Watching that documentary, I still walked away like, yeah, the government did that shit based on the information that was presented in the documentary. So I don't know what angle he thought he was portraying to try to pin it on the nation, but I didn't get that from his documentary. I just didn't get that from the documentary. Like, everything that he said in the documentary, I found it to be good research. I found it to be, you know what I'm saying? Everything was broken down very well. But that just wasn't the conclusion that I got out of it. I don't know about y'all. Anybody else watch the documentary? Did you walk away with that type of conclusion? Because I guess that's what he thought he was doing. And so for him, you know, he didn't get the desired result. And so now he's saying that them suing the CIA, the FBI, and the NYPD is a scam. And so he's always rubbed me the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? I've been trying to figure out who the hell he is and where he came from, who sent him in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Because he kind of came out of nowhere. And his narrative just don't make no sense. So I don't know. He's suspect to me. Oh yeah, my mom just sent me. Shout out to Mama Love. Mama Love. My mom just sent me the thing for Behold the Pale Horse. Yeah, Behold the Pale Horse is still a #1 bestseller on Amazon right now. Yep. Yeah. Read that book way back in the days. All right. I'm about to get up out of here. I got to check on Nicety, man. I got to see what's going on with Nicety, girl. Oh, by the way, before I go, and I wish Nicety was on here for this one. Say he's a great provocateur. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that dude. I wish Nicety was on here for this one because she's out there in California, so she probably knows a little something more about this than me. But shout out to Nikki DeGar. Nikki DeGar posted this about this area in California that's giving compensation to some of these residents who are part of this thing called, I think, Project 14. Let me show y'all this. Fair use, by the way. Fair use. Let me show y'all this.
An agreement is now in place between the city of Palm Springs and a group called Survivors and Descendants of Section 14. It's a story we've been following for years.
The group hopes that this will mark the end of a decades-long battle for justice for those who were displaced. News Channel 3's Luis Avila live in studio with a closer look at this deal. Luis.
That's right, Karen and John. After years of back and forth, a deal has finally been agreed upon between both parties. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at that. The city is paying nearly $6 million in settlements for direct compensation to residents and descendants of Section 14. Now, separate from that, the city is committing another $21 million to community programs. A majority of that, $20 million, will go towards housing programs aimed at providing affordable housing for first-time buyers and establish a land trust for low-income residents, with priority for Section 14 residents and descendants.
No.
The remaining $1 million will go toward.
I ain't gonna play the whole thing. Again, fair use, fair use, fair use. But y'all go check that out. And again, I don't know too much of the history about this Section 14 thing, what actually went on out there and who was harmed by it. But just listening to that that clip from the news broadcast, there's a lot of trick bag language in it. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I don't know the history behind, the harm that was done and who's supposed to be getting compensated, because they're talking about the blacks and Latinos, and they're talking about the underprivileged and the marginalized. Like every trick word you could think of is in that news clip right there. And it might not necessarily be, what I'm saying? Maybe it was blacks and Latinos, who were part of this Project 14 or whatever it was called, Section 14, Project 14, whatever it was called. Maybe it was blacks and Latinos who were affected by that. I don't know. Maybe it was marginalized people who were affected by that. I don't know. I just hope it's not a situation where it was black people specifically who were harmed by this and displaced by this situation, because it was an area where there was a community, people were living in this community, and the government came in and said, y'all got to get up out of here. Whoever don't get up out of here by this day, we just gonna burn your house down. And so they had the fire department go in there and just start burning houses down and shit. People got displaced and all of that. Now, but I'm hoping it wasn't a community of black people, and now they compensating everybody and their mama. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Maybe it was a community of black and Latinos or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the case, then fine. People that are supposed to be compensated are getting compensated, and that's fine. You know, they're not trying to pin it off as being, oh, this is reparations or whatever the case may be. No, they're giving compensation for a specific harm that was done. Hopefully the compensation is going to the people who were affected and their descendants. And, you know, if that's the case, then fine. I don't got a problem with that. But like I said, I don't know the history behind what happened out there in Palm Springs. But it's something to look into. It's definitely something to look into. And shout out to Nikki the God for posting that. But I'm getting ready to get up out of here. Hey, y'all. Go check on Nicey Girl. Make sure she's good. I appreciate everybody tuning in with me this evening. Hope y'all have a good week coming up. Enjoy y'all week. And I think we taking a little break from the Black Business Showcase. We're probably going to get that back popping at the beginning of the year. We only got a couple of weeks left in 2024. 2025 is approaching very quickly. And so, you know, we got the holidays coming up. A lot of people are going to be going on vacations and doing family stuff and stuff like that. So I think we're going to fall back for the next couple of weeks from the Black Business Showcase. But still, if you are a business owner, entrepreneur, you got a nonprofit, you're an inventor or anything like that, and you would like to have your stuff showcased on our channel, hit us up so we can start getting things organized for the top of the year now. So hit us up. Let us know what you got going on so we can start scheduling things for January to get 2025 popping with the Black Business Showcase. So yeah, if that's you, hit me up. I'm at Sincere Love the God on all social media platforms. You can send a DM to my co-host, Nicey Girl, with the number 1 on Instagram, without the number 1 on Twitter, or you could just simply send us an email. We are at godcastenterprises@gmail.com. godcastenterprises@gmail.com. Send us an email. Let us know what you got going on so we can get you on the schedule for the Black Business Showcase. But yeah, like I said, we're going to take the rest of the year off as far as that. But we'll be here with y'all each and every Sunday to chop up some game and do it how we do it. But until then, I just need y'all to remember, fam, I am not the master teacher. I am only the master student and signal booster for the voices of the new Black media. And I am out of here. Peace and Black love.
Yeah, like that. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen.